So today we're going to be talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So you get to end the day with some chocolate. Some days I'm bitter, some days I'm sweet, but I always end with it well. And one thing that you'll learn about me is that I am an articulate Black woman. So usually, articulate Black women end up talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because it's safe and it's comfortable, and I was not saved in the fact that I decided that was going to be my platform. And the reason being is I didn't want to speak about what was the obvious. But I was in an industry of real estate, and many times I was one of few. And it seemed that every leadership conference I went to, anything that had to do with wealth creation, anything that had to do with upward mobility, I was often one of few. Sometimes I was the only. And I wasn't getting lonely, I just wanted to make sure that there was not a formula. And to my surprise, it was systematic. Now don't get it twisted. I am not an angry Black woman. I'm a very eager Black woman, and what I do is I turn unusual, uncomfortable situations into something that is safe and comfortable. And talking about it in ways that people can relate, and again, not in somebody else's shoes, but literally see what it's like to be that person, feel that person, and create change as that person, lead as that person, and lead by design. So interestingly enough, when it comes to digital marketing actually is the one thing that globally everyone got on board when it came to equity, diversity, and inclusion. That's the new version. The reason being, putting equity in the front, because without equity, you can't have diversity, and you can't have inclusion. I say today's motto, it's all about belonging. That's really what it comes down to. Unfortunately for many, they don't realize how much digital marketing can make or break a company. Case in point, I belong to an organization where you go to the website, and you look at the leadership team, there were no people of color. If you looked at the agents, there were no people of color. If you looked at the staff and the lower level you went down, you would start seeing people of color. And so while that was not a marketing tool that was most obvious, that was the website that created the brand and really spoke values about what the organization not necessarily stood for, but who they were hiring, who they were supporting, and who was leading. Now, every organization that I went to, I was on a mission to lead. And the reason being is I'm originally from Jamaica. So while you might assume I was African American, I'm just Black. If you ask my husband, he's African American. He claims he's from the South, Mississippi. I'm from the real South, Jamaica. Very, very different cultures. And so I can really relate to what it's like to not know what to say. Because when I came to the United States, the first conversation that I had, and I'm so proud to be in the classroom, was, why are you dirty? I was quite confused. And this little boy rubbed me and he said, why are you dirty? I didn't think everything of it because I still had to be in the United States and I still had to be in the classroom. And I went home and I talked to my mother. And I said, well, why would he say that? She said, oh, honey, not to worry. He never seen skin like that, so he just assumed you were dirty. So tomorrow, your job is to look him in the eye, smile, and say, I was born this way. And ask him what you have in common by pointing out the obvious. Find something you had in common. And before long, we were playing and having a good time. Because you see this young boy didn't know any better. He actually wasn't taught not to like people of color and think that we're dirty or brown skin. He just didn't know. So who am I to make him feel bad? And it turned out we went on to be very close friends because we had more in common than we did different. By turning it, by looking at the glass half full, and putting it on the positive. As opposed to being angry, upset, call it a black card if you want. Whatever the case may be, race card, whatever, those are all valid, because that does exist. But it's how you reframe what the situation is and how you talk to someone. And the best part about it, because of the digital world, oh my goodness, Martin Luther King would be so thrilled. His dream came to reality because the world got smaller. It got smaller because of the internet. People who have rural towns all over the world, through cell phones, through technology, were able to connect. And all most people want is to see a place where they belong. So when they look at a company website, when they look at ways to connect, they're looking to see, does somebody look like me? Is there somebody that's differently able in a wheelchair like me? Is there somebody that's a leader, a CEO, that has bright red hair? The assumptions we made. So I was recently at an organization talking, and there happened to be a woman with red hair. And so I asked her if she could stand. Oh look, this always happens. Here we go. And she said, oh, you pick on the ginger. I'm like, what's that? I don't know what a ginger is. And she said red hair. I said, I have never heard that term ever in my life. I don't know what that is. And from there we had more conversation. Instead of her being offended, I just asked questions to find ways to connect. And she said to me, you know how often I'm the only person with red hair? Never noticed. Never noticed. I was so focused, am I the only person of color, black woman? Had no idea that there are other people that are also on. But from a digital platform, how simple it is to find images that show people in action, together with others, doing things that they love. Now, interestingly enough, some people don't realize that if you go to, and normally in a workshop, I'll have you go on your phone and look up GIF, GIF, whatever you call it, girlfriend, whatever it is, and put in track, field, football, music, put in Asian, and look at the imagery that comes up and how it's represented. And how positive or lack thereof that it may be. That, my friends, is digital marketing gone wrong. Simply by going into Canada, in your world, Canada is like the Zillow to a realtor. It's a disruptor. Now everybody can do it, and they create these beautiful presentations, and they don't even know what they're doing. They didn't go to school for this, they're not experts on it. But even still, you'll notice different platforms that are representing all cultures in ways that are inclusive and that are in leadership roles, and they're not. Same is true on YouTube, looking at all the different ways that people are looking for themselves. Now, when it comes to conversion, obviously with digital marketing, that's your first impression. RESPECT. Find out what it means to be. Now, Aretha Franklin said it much better than I did, and she said it in a great voice. I don't have a great voice, so I won't go there. It's just about respect. Knowing and appreciating those that are in the room, those that are not in the room, and seeking them out. Seeking out those opportunities to show them. Now, something that you may not even notice, and some of you may be familiar with the term implicit bias, and sometimes I go into how the brain works, that's really simple. Not recognizing what you automatically think, the stereotypes that exist, or how do you convert someone to become a true believer, love that country. So I never do things to embarrass people because it doesn't make them feel good. But every time I go to speak, I get the microphone, and I look at it and I say, oops, that's not my skin tone. That's not going to blend in. Because the person who created this device, or whatever the case may be, didn't realize that, oh my goodness, it's not going to actually blend in. And I'll ask the question, what are you doing with the lights? Are you turning up or turning them off? I did it today. Not to make anybody feel bad, but if you dim the lights, you just see my teeth. And when we are using streaming in this time, there are some people that won't get to do the connection from eye contact because they'll see my eyes, maybe, or just my teeth. And so that digital platform, the marketing, everything that comes out, the videos, the films that are made, the TikToks, the YouTubes, everything that makes you go viral may not be an option if they dim the lights just a little bit too low. Now, my lab counterparts, including my children, one's light, one's dark. I see how people treat them differently in the room. But when it comes to digital marketing, noticing what shades of people are on marketing. Are they all light complected? Close to not quite dark enough? And again, what is the person thinking that created it, or who are they trying to attract? So one of the exercises we do is understanding the mission vision. Now, I'll tell you this, after 2020, sadly, the world watched a man say, Mama, I can't breathe. And within seconds, people started to be divided about whether or not this was good or bad. Now, all the media, all the marketing around who supports Black Lives Matter, who supports the police, very divisive. But companies all of a sudden change the mission statement, change the mission, check the box, we're all good here. And oh my goodness, a conversation I used to talk about diversity in real estate, nobody talks about or even here. The most systematically discriminatory industry that there is, because land is real estate. And many people that came to this country didn't have access to it and still don't. And therefore, our laws, the things that we do, and our marketing implies that or not. But I digress, because I was so upset when my husband was mad and angry and yelling at the TV, and I said, shh, the girls are sleeping. And he was so angry. Calm down, just calm down. And I saw a 6'8" man, mad, sad, because of all the different things that the media was coming up with, and how all of a sudden his company was supporting diversity. He's in commercial real estate. Now he knows firsthand they do not support diversity and inclusion. But he was angry because he met the exact description of this man. 6'7", 8, he's shrinking. 6'6", I cut him off. He realized that that could have been him. And that in our neighborhood, he experienced that. Now, people like to say, it's not that bad anymore. I can tell you, it still exists in different ways. And if you're looking for the bad, you'll see it. If you're looking for the good. We saw that day totally different. For my kids, I didn't want my daughters to get upset and nervous. And I didn't want their safety bubble of everything's okay and MLK's dream being true. All of a sudden, they realized what reality was. It wasn't my neighbors who didn't see it. I didn't want my own daughters to see it. But all the marketing, every company thereafter was Black Lives Matter, support the police, whatever the case may be. People were spending money left and right on diversity, equity, inclusion. My phone was ringing off the hook, and all the $30,000 speakers didn't know what to do. What are we going to do? I had been using Zoom, the Speakers Association, for 2 years prior, and my door opened wide up because I was able to connect with people, strangers, by Zoom technology. And I got to create my own slides and have it shared with the world and on all the different areas. But I understood exactly what needed to happen because it was my lived experience. Next step was to make sure that everybody understood what that felt like. So I too could be put in my husband's shoes that was talked about. He was a size 16. I had to recognize that his pain was different than my pain. It became painfully obvious that two Black people in the same neighborhood, in the same house, had different experiences, and his company was proudly showing how they supported diversity, yet he was experiencing in that moment the conversations that were happening in the same culture that their mission statement said. And all of that marketing, including the buildings that people were looking at, all of a sudden changed. And so understanding that marketing doesn't matter, understand the research. We talked about curiosity. Start asking questions, just because. What would you like to see? How do you feel? Do you feel like you belong? Just this weekend, of all the places I was bringing my daughters to the National Speakers Association, where all the happy people are, we're all cheerleaders and that boy, and we're so excited. I'm like, I'm giving my kids the opportunity to my child. Because we are motivational speakers. And as we're walking up, the gentleman says, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am, where are you going? This is a private event. Can I help you? And my kids said, I'm here to work. I said, oh, no. In fact, I serve on the board. I also set up this venue. And I said to the gentleman, we're actually here with our people. Now, mind you, it would have been a perfect opportunity for me to say to my girls, your bubbles just popped together, and we're angry, and they knew exactly what to say. But had it not been prior to 2020, they wouldn't feel comfortable expressing that. They knew how to be able to put on what that felt like. This was just 6 days ago. And the marketing for our organization and all the people on the diversity committee. How many of you have a diversity committee at your offices? Most of the people that do have a diversity committee tend to be people who are diverse. Diversity is used now as a verb, as a subject. Preaching to the choir, we sit around, we talk about how we feel. I'm so glad we have a safe place to talk. So I have always been anti-committee, just about commitment. Figure out where we can bring people to have a conversation, not in a separate room, every other month, on the first Friday. We'll do a couple notes, kumbaya, but the opposite is creating a commitment where everybody feels involved. And so where does marketing come? Because look on the website, when you see the diversity committee and the beautiful people that thought about the marketing, sometimes it doesn't reflect. So there's a company here in Colorado called Inc., and they meant really well and did extremely wonderful in their sales. And I assure you, on their website and the marketing department, they were so proud of this sign, happily gentrified. Now I have a background in urban planning, and I've been studying gentrification for 30-something years. In some conversations, it's considered to be an investment. But on the flip side, it also means displacement. And on that day, the luxury real estate company, people are saying, what are we going to do? They close down the coffee shop, where are we going to go? And on the same morning, in a community and church, people are upset and angry. How dare they? Marketing gone wrong. And because of social media, within seconds, it was all over. CNN, everybody was talking about it. Gentrification, this is horrible, these terrible bad people. And the person who came up with this campaign probably had no idea because they hadn't done their research. And the neighborhood where they were establishing their brand. The brand that they probably went to a conference like this to learn about. Because if you don't ask the right questions, if you don't get involved in the community and do community engagement, really understand what are the core values of the organization or where you serve or the audiences that you're trying to attract, it can go wrong in a hot second. On the flip to that, social media, as we know, can be used for good. Now, depending on what your background is, you all have a different story. So my challenge to you is the teams that you serve on, ask each other and share, what is it about you that is not obvious by looking at you? I'm just going to pick a random person. Tell us something about you that we wouldn't be able to tell just by looking at you. I'll give you an example. Oftentimes somebody will say, I'm adopted. Tell me something that we wouldn't be able to know just looking at you. That's okay. Just something random. Something from your past.
I dress up and go to Comic-Con.
Oh, you're one of them? Oh, that's so wonderful. And when it comes down on Quebec Avenue, everybody comes out. It's my favorite time. So I use an example of adoption because many times you'll hear people say, I'm adopted too. Do you know your birth mother? How long have you known? Do you have family that you stay in touch? And then also there's this connection. And then let's think of examples of digital media and marketing. How many of you have been able to check your DNA? Who knew that it's been around all along, but all of a sudden it became really important to our cultures. And people wanted to know what they're made of. And a lot of people were really surprised. It turns out we're all mixed. We're all multiracial. Oh yeah, there's not one pure soul left on this planet. And by 2050, there will be more Black, Indigenous, people of color than any other. And quite frankly, in Colorado, by 2025, there will be more Latinx demographically than anyone else. And if you are one of those people who identify to be Latinx, you're like, oh, it's about time. If you're not, you may be afraid or you're celebrating. And how ironic, we happen to be in Mexico. It just changed the name to Colorado somewhere along the line. It only makes perfect sense, but for years, my Latinx sisters and brothers felt like they didn't belong. And this was their native land. My indigenous brothers and sisters would tell me the same thing. Well, actually, before it was Mexico, what happened was, the reality is, unless we share our stories about our heritage and where we came from, or better yet, where we're going, talk to Generation Z and see what they say. When you're looking at marketing, advertising, strategy, sales, understand that you have to be thinking about the global economy. Not your little office, not your neighborhood. If we had time, I'd tell you about a neighborhood called Stapleton, now called Central Park. Happens to be the neighborhood I live in. Long story short, when I first got out of school 30 years ago, supposed to be the best award-winning neighborhood, got lots of awards. I love the neighborhood. I say I would never live here. This used to be an airport. The kids here are green. I live there. My kids are green. Love it because it's like Disneyland. There's pools, there's parks, there's everything. And all of a sudden, I find out that the namesake is somebody from the KKK. Now, I'm almost 50. I've never had a conversation about the KKK. My husband, on the other hand, at the same age, or maybe a little bit older, 51, actually grew up with white only water fountains. In fact, his town is still socially segregated. But all of a sudden, we needed to change the name of the neighborhood. Now, prior to this, I put together a group of people, because I used to walk with all the white people. Do you live here? Do you live here? My kids said, stop! I said, oh, okay. Let's find another way to find each other. Let's do a marketing project. My daughter said, what does that mean? We'll do a picnic, we'll have signs, and people will just come. She said, or you can use Facebook. Oh, okay. So created a Facebook group, and it was for Black families, and they fight each other, so we didn't have to tag right children. I got involved in my community, and I started asking questions. Where do you live? How long have you lived here? Is your family here? Are you native? Are you immigrant? What is it? And it was called Soulfully Stapleton. Had a really nice ring to it. 2 S's, and I had a hashtag, thanks to my daughter. And all of a sudden, I had 20 families. I'm like, just like that, I just made 20 friends that I didn't know, and we're gonna have a pool party. And then I didn't realize that strangers don't like to meet each other. Oops, that's my alarm. Apparently, my name's on the screen. Didn't realize that strangers don't like to meet each other. Oops, Memorial Day party, swim party, not a good idea. And Black folks don't like to clear with. Now, I'm a Black woman. I didn't care. I grew up in Jamaica. We didn't care. But I didn't ask the right questions. So year after year, the same people would show up. So finally somebody said, I really wish you would do this pool party on weekends, and I know you have the flyers, and you have a hashtag and all these things, but it just doesn't work for me. Because I'm with my family on Memorial Day, that is like the ultimate Black cookout on Jamaica. But not only that, I didn't ask the right questions. I didn't think that I was competing with other families getting together. I was making people feel uncomfortable because you're around people on the side and everybody else is there. It was doing the opposite of what I wanted. So I started finding ways to connect. So I decided I would create another organization for mothers. And the people would just organically show up, and then I grew 2 organizations together, and whoop, there's diversity. And in a matter of a year, 600 people signed up, and I was just amazed. And it was a marketing digital experience. But when the name of the neighborhood changed, it was my white neighbors who wouldn't stand for the letters KKK under a bridge a block from my home. Now, keep in mind, I wasn't comfortable saying the word white because I'm from Jamaica, and apparently Caucasian was the right thing. My kids didn't know what Caucasian was. My husband said that's dumb, but that's what we were taught in Jamaica. So when I say my white neighbors, I mean loosely people who are not of color. So when it was time to change the name of the neighborhood, interestingly enough, I wasn't prepared to do so because this is how we found each other, our tribe. People would put in Black Stapleton. The organization started going from being a Black organization to a multicultural organization accidentally. Because I had a Jewish woman call me and said, well, every year we have a lighting of the tree, and we have these beautiful marketing, and we are trending because our neighborhood is using this as a brand, and there's never anything for a Jewish community. Oh, that's easy. Join. We'll celebrate. We'll make sure we celebrate all these holidays. We'll find families come together. We'll participate. My daughter, who sometimes she's Jewish, sometimes she's Japanese, she's just a hippie, she's everything. we were able to put it all together. And then I had another call me and said, so I have a child who's from China, and we do not. Are there any other families in the neighborhood that might have a Chinese adopted baby with white parents? I don't know, let's find out. So we started doing different marketing strategies around lots of different people and situations. And the next thing I know, I had German families, I had Italian families, all these families came together because we got involved in the neighborhood. So guess what? All of our marketing from there on was simply and only representation of real people, not the downloadables that you would find that didn't represent us. We just used our real pictures. So as you start to change your organizations, or you start doing activities in the community, take real pictures. Use that for your marketing. Make sure people understand that it's authentic, that it's not just something that you download. Look around your office, and at the very least, do the exercise I love doing in my workshops is create a vision board. Not of the car or the house you want, but the people you want in your environment. The organizations that you want to support, the companies that you wish you worked at that have inclusive personalities. See how this shows up. Put it somewhere where you see it every day. And like magic, you'll start seeing more people of color. You'll start seeing people with different abilities. You'll start seeing same-sex couples. You'll start seeing things that you have always been there. But when you put it somewhere where you see it often, it starts to show up more and more. And you start attracting people because just your mind so long, you start building momentum. And by nature, people will show up. So as I start to wrap up, think about all the things that diversity can do. Like I said, people use it for a noun, people use it as a subject. It's so funny, and people always think, so we're having a diversity training, and we're going to have diverse people, and our conversation is going to be about diversity. Because people don't really know what to do with the word, and it's kind of weird. So we just look at multicultural mindset, building momentum, creating results, looking at ways that you can authentically start moving forward. It happens organically by design, not by accident. And by doing that, you will start to recognize the benefit of using what you have going on in your organization and helping other organizations do the same thing. As I wrap up here, different generations see things differently. Different generations have ways in which they work together in their family and ways in which they work together outside of the home and the workplace. And after COVID, everybody was forced to learn how to go back to the basics. We started off with the rest, and we used digital, and then we had retired people who are now going back to the workplace because now they can learn how to do something on Zoom. People who used to give you a card at Walmart to say how you're doing, they were actually starting organizations, they were becoming consultants, they were doing all these wonderful things because we started to learn from each other. Because those who got the Great Depression said, no, don't worry, we'll be all right. Kids like my daughter is a senior, she thought my life was over, I'll never make it, the world's coming to an end. Those of us who were through 2000, it wasn't the end of the world. But we started learning from the experiences from each other, and as you build organizations, look to see who are your leaders, and look to see who your pipeline is, and where is the cross-collaboration. How can you make it more intentional so that you're doing group settings together? And you don't have to make this happen overnight, whether it's through marketing or whether it's through creating an environment. Pick one person in the organization that you want to champion and make sure that they're leading. Pick one person in your neighborhood that you can introduce them to your organization, introduce them to the industry, have a conversation with them, how you got to where you are. These are the ways that you naturally start having conversations with people you normally have and start letting that change your mindset and the work that you do and the information that you put out there naturally will come across authentically in a multicultural way. So as we wrap up, I'll share that social media is for guys. There's all sorts of ways that it can be for good and for bad, and how you show up in social media is there for people to not only see, but feel. We already know video marketing goes quickly. I wasn't gonna go there. Think of all the TikTok videos. My daughter is learning chemistry through TikTok. It is her go-to for everything. And that's just for now, who sees what comes of this. But be purposeful and be sure that you're ahead of the trend and you're looking at the opportunities, because that too is allowing people to learn about dances that I'm like, they're just doing this now, like this was like 1980, but now they're like, haircuts! I'm like, really? But it's connecting people, like, I can do that too, I can do the running man, my daughter's listening to songs from the 90s. It's bringing people together in a multi-generational marketing opportunity, multicultural in the form of digital marketing, and for people collaborating. So you just never know where it's going to show up, but what you can do is you can show up and show out every single time. So Zoom brought us together, people could see eye to eye, people started judging what they had in their walls, cats were always walking in and out the door, but you got to get a little personal with people, and then people were taking screenshots, and then I started undercover DEI. I said, send your screenshot or your Zoom. Many times it was not very diverse. And then say, look, we all got together, here's a screenshot. It was telling the truth about who was really there. It was telling the truth about people actually seeing in front of their face for the first time, oh, that diversity thing that's on our mission statement, not so much. It became real, but it also allowed people to connect. People were coming in from other companies, people were competing. Well, Microsoft Teams is better than Zoom. People were starting to train everybody who a green screen was. It was bananas, and it still is going on. But what it did is it caused people to connect. Apparently, I didn't turn it off. But as I wrap up, I want you to recognize that your audience experience is digitally happening. The minute they see it, the minute they make that click, they're deciding, do they get me, do they don't get me, do they not care about me, is there an opportunity there? The minute that you're looking at marketing opportunities, all the different social networks, what kind of networks you have internally within your organization, and how you represent that in a global way. And understand that your leadership is part of your legacy. But what is your digital legacy? What seeds are you planting moving forward? Because many of these things are there for good. People are going to look at it and say, I remember when they did that campaign, just like we saw with you. No one has forgotten that, at least easily forgotten. And know that there are so few things that we can do in life that allow you to really connect. And even though we have digital platforms, people are connecting in different ways. Showing your families, sometimes to evolve, they're playing with their games or they're doing something, but they're using digital platforms to send text across the room. I hate when mommy goes on and on like this. I'm like, I know you're texting each other, but we're using technology in different ways as we are with marketing and how we use it. And there's a South African phrase about Ubuntu. And it's, as you can see, I am because you are. If you can maintain that mindset, you'll know that what you do is a reflection of others and vice versa. And different cultures will teach you these lessons. So as you think about where do I go from here, it's simple. Look into your heart. There's not a soul on the planet, including Mr. Stapleton, who was faulted for being affiliated, allegedly, to the KKK. He was a trailblazer in some ways and changed an entire city. But his legacy was all over CNN, C-SPAN, his colleagues, one in which I did work with, his grandchildren, one which lived in my neighborhood, which changed in an instant. Because as times change, what used to be acceptable then is not acceptable now. But being willing to change is important. But when you can do that by engaging and collaborating with others, we are now slowly Central Park. Because I realized that when the neighborhood changes, so do we. And as a result of that, within seconds, all the media who was making me look horrible, why would you change it? I talked to you about diversity. I'm like, wait a minute, I was just a realtor a couple years ago. Now I'm a diversity inclusion specialist. My mom is not changing the name. But all of a sudden, because the masses were willing to come together and make it right, and do the marches, and do the posters, and people were taking pictures, and hashtag Central Park, the other Central Park, it went crazy. I had to make a change because I knew that things needed to change. But even the name, while it honored some, it hurt others. But it will be a lasting impression as to when the media changed and came together. So for better or for worse, people may not agree with why we do what we do. People actually may not even care. And those do, and those don't, can't please them all. But whatever you do with your marketing, know that, no pressure, what you put out there makes a difference. What you put out there makes a difference if you're willing to see the opportunities and if you're willing to say, that was a mistake. How can we make it right? Instead of being angry about it, become eager about it. So I'm self-proclaimed the eager Black woman. And I encourage you to be eager to go out there and make a lot of noise with your digital platform unapologetically. Thank you.